Develop a simple Java servlet that can handle HTTP requests and responses. A servlet is a Java program that runs on a web server and handles client requests. Receives HTTP requests from the browser, processes them, and sends it to HTTP responses back to the client. The classes HTTP Servlet Request and HTTP Servlet Response are used for handling requests and response respectively. HTTP Request and Response Architecture: Client Browser, HTTP Request, Servlet Container, Servlet Process Request, Generate Response, HTTP Response, Client Browser. Handling HTTP requests: the servlet receives requests through HTTP Servlet Request. Common methods: request.add parameter name, request.get method, request.get header of host, request.get remote adder, request.get parameter of name, get request.get method, get header of host, get remote adder. Handling HTTP responses: the servlet sends response using HTTP Servlet Response. Common method: response.set context type text/html. Print writer out is equals to respond.getWriter. Simple servlet program: hello servlet.java. Import java.io.star, import jakarta.servlet.star, import jakarta.servlet.http.star. Public class hello servlet extend HTTP servlet. Protected void do get HTTP servlet request HTTP servlet response protected void do get, and throws servlet exception, IO exception, response.get context type, content type, text/html. Print writer out is equals to response.getWriter. Out.println html, out.println body, out.println h1 hello user, out.println h2 welcome to servlet programming, out.println body, out.println html. Import packages: import jakarta.servlet, import jakarta.servlet.http.star, import servlet APIs like this, and extending the HTTP servlet. Hello servlet extends HTTP servlet. Do get method handles the HTTP get request. Set content type informs browser that HTML content is being returned. Get writer object used to send output to the browser. Displays the content on the browser. Hello user, welcome to servlet programming. HTML page to invoke servlet index.html is doc type HTML. Head title servlet example, head ahref hello servlet. Click here. Servlet mapping using web.xml. This will be web app. Servlet name. For servlet name is hello servlet name. Then servlet class is hello servlet mapping. Servlet name hello servlet name. URL pattern /hello servlet. URL pattern servlet mapping. Then web app close. Using annotation alternative at web servlet hello servlet, public class hello servlet extends HTTP servlet. Instead of web.xml, we can do this. Steps to execute the servlet: install the Apache Tomcat, create dynamic web project, create servlet class, configure servlet using web.xml or at web servlet annotation, deploy project on Tomcat, run URL, project name hello servlet, and then we output in the browser. Advantages of servlets: faster than CGI, platform independent, supports multi-threading, efficient memory usage, easy database connectivity through JDBC, secure and scalable, application login systems, online banking, railway reservation, e-commerce website, student management systems, social networking application. The servlet handles HTTP requests using HTTP request and generate responses. HTTP servlet response, the do get and do post method are commonly used to process client requests and return dynamic content to the browser. This makes servlet functional of Java web application development. Explain any two cookie methods and elaborate how cookies can be handled in Servlet. A cookie is a small text file stored on the client machine by a web browser. Cookies are used to maintain user information, session data, login details, user preferences, and shopping cart information. Servlets use the cookie class available in jakarta.servlet.htp package to create, read, modify, and delete the cookies. Definition of the cookie: a cookie stores information in the form of plain text. Name equals to cookie. For example, username is Anushka. Then the browser stores the cookie and automatically sends it to the server whenever the user revisits the website. Cookie handling in Servlet. The following steps are involved. Cookie C is equals to create cookie. Cookie C is equals to new cookie of username Anushka. Then add cookie to response dot add cookie. Retrieve cookie. Response dot add cookie of C. So add cookie to the response. Retrieve cookies. Cookies is equals to request dot get cookies. Read cookie information for cookie C in cookies. Out.println C dot get name, C dot get value. Okay, cookies get response dot add cookie, then cookies request dot get cookies. Cookie handling diagram. Client browser request servlet create cookie response dot add cookie. Browser stores the cookie. Future request dot get cookies. Servlet reads the cookies. Add any two cookie methods. Get name method returns the name of the cookie. String name is equals to cookie dot get name. Example this. New cookie of username Anushka. Then string name is equals to C dot get name. It is username. Identifies cookie name, helps to retrieve specific cookie information. Get value method returns the value stored in the cookie. String value is equals to cookie dot get value. Cookie C is new cookie of username Anushka. Then it will return you the Anushka. String value C dot get value. Retrieves your stored user information used in login and session tracking. Other important cookie methods are set value, changes cookie value, set maximum age, sets the expiry date, get maximum age, returns the expiry date, set path, sets the cookie path, returns the cookie path, get path, set domain, sets the domain, returns the domain by get domain. Program to create a cookie. Example is here. Cookie C, new cookie of username, XYZ, response dot add cookie of C, print writer out, response dot get writer, out.println, cookie created successfully. For reading the cookie, we have print writer dot add response dot get writer. Cookies is equals to request dot get cookies. Cookies equals to request dot get cookies. If cookie is not equal to null, for cookie C and cookies, out.println C dot get name equals to something, get value is equals to this. Then add the line break. Deleting a cookie, C dot set max age is 0. Response dot add cookie of C. Advantages: easy implementation, useful for session tracking, stores user preferences, reduces server workload, improves user experiences. Disadvantages of cookies: limited storage, security issues, can be disabled by users, not suitable for sensitive information, application of cookies, login authentication, shopping cart, user preferences, remember password future, then e-commerce website, online banking systems. Write a Java servlet program to accept two parameters from the web page, find their sum and display the result. Also give the necessary HTML script. Servlet can accept user input from an HTML form Using HTTP Servlet request object, the values entered by the user are retrieved. Get parameter method. Result will be shown using HTTP Servlet response. Create a web page that accepts two numbers from the user. The servlet should be read both the numbers, calculate their sum, and display the result on the web page. So architecture will be like client browser, HTML form, servlet, read parameter, calculate sum, generate response, browser displays the result. First one, HTML page. It will be index.html, doc type HTML, head, title, addition, form. Enter two numbers. Form action equals to addition servlet, method equals to post. Form action equals to addition servlet, method equals to post. Number one is input type text, name is equals to num1 break. Number two is input type text, name equals to num2, input type submit, value equals to find sum. Value equals to find sum. Then form. Then we have this body HTML, addition servlet.java. Public class addition servlet extend HTTP servlet. Protected void do post HTTP servlet request HTTP servlet response throws servlet exception IO exception response dot set content type text slash HTML print writer out response dot get writer int n1 equals to integer dot parseInt request dot get parameter of num1 integer dot parseInt int n1 equals to integer dot parseInt of request dot get parameter of num1 int n2 integer dot parseInt of request dot get parameter of num2 int sum equals to n1 plus n2 out dot println HTML body first number n1 h2 second number out dot println h2 first number n1 plus h2 then out dot println h2 second number plus n2 sum equals to sum out dot println body HTML. Web.xml configuration, web app, servlet name is addition servlet name, servlet class addition servlet class servlet mapping, servlet name addition servlet name URL pattern slash additional servlet addition servlet slash addition servlet, then URL pattern servlet mapping. Web app working user input will be number 1 equals to 20, number 2 is 30, processing int sum equals to n1 plus n2, result will be sum equals to 50, sample output will be first number 20, second number 30, sum is 50. Reading parameters is request.get parameter num1, request.get parameter num2. Retrieves the values of integer.parseInt. Displays the result. Demonstrate client-server communication, shows form handling in servlets, easy to process, user inputs, useful for web-based calculations, and forms the basis of dynamic web application. Describe in detail how Tomcat web server is configured and developing servlet lifecycle. Apache Tomcat is an open source web browser and servlet container developed by Apache Software Foundation. It provides the runtime environment for executing Java servlets and JSP pages. Tomcat manages the complete servlet life cycle, including loading, initialization, request processing, and destruction of servlet. What is Tomcat? Tomcat is a servlet container that executes the servlet, executes JSP pages, handles the HTTP requests and responses, manages servlet lifecycle, provides session management, supports web application deployment as well. Tomcat architecture includes the client server, HTTP request, Apache Tomcat server, servlet container, servlet database, then HTTP response, client browser. Steps to configure Tomcat: download Apache Tomcat, download Tomcat from this. Then install Java JDK. Install Java JDK and configure. Configure Tomcat in Eclipse. Open Eclipse, window preferences, server, runtime environment, Apache Tomcat. Create dynamic web page, file new dynamic web page. Servlet demo, create servlet. Source new servlet. Given name as hello servlet. Configure web.xml, web.xml, web app servlet, servlet name hello servlet, servlet name hello servlet, servlet name, servlet class hello servlet, servlet class, servlet, then servlet mapping, servlet name hello servlet, URL pattern is /hello URL pattern. Then start Tomcat server, run on server. Tomcat starts on this localhost 8080. Execute the servlet. Output is hello world. Tomcat and servlet lifecycle. Tomcat automatically manages the servlet lifecycle. Loading. Tomcat loads the servlet class into memory loaded by class loader. Initialization init Tomcat invokes only once. Public void init servlet initialized. Allocate resources, open database connections, read configuration parameters. Request processing. Whenever client sends a request, service is called. For HTTP requests, do get, do post are automatically invoked. For example, for this, do get, protected void, do get. Destruction, removal, destroy happens. Close database connections and release the resources. Servlet lifecycle managed by Tomcat. Tomcat starts, loads a service, init only once, and service for every request, destroy only once. Servlet is removed. Example servlet is this: java.io.star, jakarta.servlet.star, jakarta.servlet.htp.star, public class hello servlet extends HTTP servlet. Then public void init println servlet initialized, protected void do get of this, then print writer out response.get writer, then out.println hello from Tomcat, then public void destroy, servlet destroyed. Services provided by Tomcat. Network services receives and sends HTTP messages. Servlet lifecycle management handles init service destroy. Session management supports cookies, URL rewriting, HTTP session. Security services provides authentication and authorization. Resource management manages HTML files, servlets, JSP pages, multi-threading, handles multiple users simultaneously. Advantages of Tomcat: open source and free, lightweight and fast, easy deployment, platform independent, supports servlets and JSP, secure and reliable, supports session tracking, highly scalable. Container provides environment necessary for executing servlets. JSP pages, it manages the complete servlet lifecycle by loading servlet, invoking init, processing requests through service, and cleaning up resources using destroy. Thus, Tomcat plays a vital role in Java web application. Write a program to create a cookie with name, username, and value XYZ. Also display stored cookies in the web pages. A cookie is a small text file stored on the client machine by the browser. Cookies are used to maintain user information, session data, login details, and preferences. In Servlet, cookies are created using cookie class and are stored in the client side. Aim to create a cookie with username name as username, value as XYZ, store it in the browser. It even display all the cookies on the web pages. So here the cookie handling architecture will look like this: client browser request, then it comes to servlet create cookie, then response.add cookie of C, then browser stores the cookie, future request.get cookies, displays the cookies. Servlet program: java.io.star, jakarta.servlet.star, jakarta.servlet.htp.star, public class cookie servlet extends HTTP servlet protected void do get, HTTP servlet request, HTTP servlet response throws servlet exception, IO exception, response dot set content type as text/HTML, print writer out is equals to response dot get writer, print writer out equals to response dot get writer, cookie c equals to new cookie of username comma xyz, response dot add cookie of c out dot println HTML body out dot println cookie created successfully, cookies, cookie in cookies, request dot get cookies out dot println stored cookies. Then if cookies not equals to null for cookies in cookies, cookie c k in cookies out dot println ck dot get name equals to get value break, else out dot println no cookies found out dot println body HTML, web.xml configuration, web dash app, servlet name, cookie servlet name, servlet class, cookie servlet mapping, servlet name, cookie servlet name, URL pattern / cookie servlet URL pattern. Execution steps: start Apache Tomcat server, deploy the servlet, open browser, cookies started and stored cookies are displayed, username equals to xyz, creating cookie is this c, then response dot add cookie, reading the cookie is like get cookies, cookies equals to request dot get cookies, and this will be displayed. More cookie methods: add cookie, get name, get value, get message, set value, maintains user state, supports session tracking, stores user preferences, easy implementation, improves user experiences. Application login system, shopping cart, banking application, and e-commerce websites, social networking, and all. Java syntax for handling HTTP requests and responses using cookies and session tracking. In Servlet programming, client requests are handled using the HTTP servlet request object. Responses are generated in the HTTP servlet response object. Cookies and session tracking are used to maintain user information across multiple requests because HTTP is a stateless protocol. Handling HTTP request. HTTP request servlet request interface provides method to obtain client request information. Its syntax is like this: protected void do get, HTTP servlet request HTTP servlet response throws servlet exception, IO exception, then reading parameters string name is request dot get parameter of name string name, then getting request method string method equals to request dot get method, request dot get parameter, request dot get parameter, request dot get method, getting client IP address, get remote adder IP, get remote adder, then header information, get header of host, then reading parameters will be string name equals to request dot get parameter of name, string method is request dot get method, string IP equals to request dot get remote adder, and header get header host. Handling HTTP responses. The HTTP servlet response interface is used to send data to the client. Response dot content type set content type of text / HTML, print writer out is equals to response dot get writer, sending output out dot println, redirecting the request means response dot send redirect to home dot HTML, send redirect, setting response header, response dot set header is catch control no catch, catch control comma no catch. Request response diagram, browser HTTP request, servlet process the request, generate the response, HTTP response, browser using cookies. Cookies store information on the client side. Cookie C is new cookie of username Anushka, adding cookie response dot add cookie of C, retrieving the cookie. Cookies is request dot get cookies, reading cookies. Request dot get cookies, reading cookie values for cookie C in cookies out dot println C dot get name, C dot get value, deleting a cookie, C dot set max age of cookie, response dot add cookie of C. This is handled. Browser create cookie, servlet response dot add cookie of C, browser stores the cookie, future request dot get cookies, servlet reads the cookie. Session tracking using HTTP session. Session tracking maintains user information between requests. Creating session, HTTP session request.get session, HTTP session request.get session.set attribute as user Anushka, retrieving data string user is equals to string session.get attribute of user, removing attribute session.remove attribute of user. HTTP session is request.get session.set attribute of user, Anushka. Then retrieving data is string user equals to string session.get attribute of user, get attribute of user, session.remove attribute of user, invalidating session.invalidate. Client login, servlet create session, HTTP session, store user data, multiple requests, retrieve data, combine servlet example. Public class session servlet extends the HTTP servlet. Protected by do get HTTP servlet request HTTP servlet response throws IO exception. Response.set content type of text/HTML print writer out equals to response.get writer string user request.get parameter of user, string user equals to request.get parameter of user. Cookie C is new cookie of username user, response.add cookie, HTTP session equals to request.get session.set attribute of user, user, out.println welcome plus user, sample output welcome Anushka. Comparison cookies and sessions stored on client side, stored on the server side. Less secure, more secure. Small storage, large storage. Can be displayed, cannot be displayed easily. First error access slightly slower. HTTP request and response support client server communication use process. Dynamic user input generates dynamic web pages. Cookies maintain user preferences, useful for session tracking. More secure than cookies, stores data on server, widely used in login systems. Servlet handle client communication through HTTP servlet request and response. Cookie helps store information in the client side, while HTTP enables the secure session tracking on the server side. Together, they form the foundation of the state management in Java web applications. Define JSP, explain JSP tags, variables, objects. JSP Java server pages. Your server-side technology used to create dynamic web pages. JSP allows Java code to be embedded within HTML pages, making it easier to develop web applications. JSP pages translated into the servlet by the Java container, JSP container, then executed by the server. JSP is a technology used to develop dynamic web pages by combining HTML tags and Java code. Client browser, JSP page translated into servlet, compiled, executed by server, HTML response, client browser. Easy to develop web applications, supports Java code within the HTML. Platform, independent, reusable component, supports session tracking, reduces coding complexity. JSP tags. JSP tags are special tags used to insert Java code into the JSP pages. Types of JSP tags. Directive tags, used to provide instruction to JSP container. Used to provide instruction to JSP container. Directive attribute is equals to value. Percentage at the rate. Directive tags. Directive attribute equals to value. Page language equals to Java. Types of directive. Page directive, include directive, tag lab directive. Declaration tag, used to declare variables and methods. Percentage, exclamation, declaration, then int count equals to 0. Scriptlet tag, used to write Java code. Java statements, out.println welcome to JSP. Expression tag, used to display values directly. Expression equals expression. Hello user equals tag. Expression tag. Scriptlet tag, expression tag. Hello user. Action tag, action name, used to perform predefined action. That is JSP dot action name. That is include page equals to header dot JSP. Include page equals to header dot JSP. Summary of JSP tags are: directive, give instruction to the container. Declaration, declaring the variables and methods. Scriptlet, contains the Java code. Expression, displays the values. Action, performs the predefined tasks. JSP variables. These are JSP tags. JSP variables. Variables store data used within JSP pages. Types of variables: local variables declared inside methods or scriptlets. That is int equals to 10. Instance variables declared using declaration tags. Instance variables accessible throughout the Java page. Static variables, static in total, shared among all instances, accessible throughout the JSP page. Then example of variables: percentage at page language equals to Java, and percentage in text is 20, y is 30, sum is equals to x plus y. JSP objects. JSP provides several predefined objects called implicit objects. These objects are automatically available without declaration. Important JSP implicit objects are: request, handles client request; response, sends the response to the client; out, write the output to the browser; session, maintains user session; application, represents servlet context; config, represents servlet configuration; page, current JSP page; page context, accesses JSP environment; exception, handles exceptions; request object, used to obtain request information; string name, request.get parameter of name; request object is like used to obtain the request information. Okay, request.get parameter of name; string name is equals to request.get parameter of name. Response object, response.send redirect to home.jsp. Responses, used to send the responses. Response object. Out.println hello JSP, display the output. Session object, use it for session tracking. Session.set attribute, session.set attribute of user, Anushka. An application object, used to share information among all users. That is application.set attribute of college, bit. JSP program demonstrating tags, variables, and objects. This is the JSP program. Percentage at page language is Java. HTML body. Then int count is 1. String user is equals to Anushka. Session set attribute of user, comma user. That is one part. Then welcome equals to user. Break. Count equals to count. This is the JSP file. Welcome up Anushka. Count 1. Easy to create dynamic web pages, reduces Java coding, supports reusable components built in. Implicit objects, supports session tracking, faster development. JSP versus Servlet. HTML centric, Java centric. JSP is HTML centric, Servlet is Java centric. Easy UI design, Servlet difficult UI design. JSP less coding, Servlet more coding. Use it for presentation layer, use it for business logic. Automatically converted to Servlet, directly executed. JSP is a powerful technology for creating dynamic web pages. JSP tags help embed Java code variables, store data, and implicit objects. Provides ready-made functionality for request processing, response generation, session management, and application level operations. Thus, JSP simplifies web application development significantly. Differentiate between JSP and servlets. Both servlets and JSP Java server pages are server-side technology. Use it for developing dynamic web applications in Java. A JSP page is internally converted into servlet by the JSP container before execution. Although both serve similar purposes, they differ in their design and usage. Java versus servlet. JSP versus servlet. Java server pages. JSP is an HTML centric, servlet is an Java centric. Use it mainly for presentation layer, use it for business logic controller. Easy to create web pages, more coding required. HTML code is written directly, HTML is generated using the Java statement. Extension is .jsp, extension is .java. JSP is translated into a servlet before execution. Servlet is compiled and executed directly. Easier to maintain UI, difficult to maintain UI, contains implicit objects. Implicit objects are not available directly. Suitable for web page design, suitable for request processing, less coding, more coding. JSP architecture, client browser, JSP page, JSP container, converted into servlet, compiled, executed HTML response, and client browser. Servlet architecture, client browser, HTTP request, servlet container, servlet process request, HTML, HTTP response, and this client browser. HTML body, welcome to JSP. String name Anushka, hello name. But in servlet, we have to get all of this and write it. Easy to create dynamic web pages, less coding, better UI, supports reusable components like this. What are cookies? How are they handled in JSP? Write a JSP program to create and read cookie. A cookie is a small text file stored on the client machine by the web browser. Cookies are used to maintain user-specific information such as login details, user preferences, shopping cart information, session tracking. Since HTTP is stateless protocol, cookies help maintain the state of the user across the multiple requests. JSP provides built-in support for creating and reading cookie using cookie class and implicit objects. A cookie is a small piece of information stored on client's browser in the form of name-value pairs. What is the need for cookies? Maintain user and sessions, remember login details, store user preferences, store track activities, maintain shopping carts information. Cookie handle in JSP. JSP handles cookies using creating cookie C equals to new cookie of username XYZ. Response.add cookie of C. Cookies equals to request.get cookies. Displaying cookies for cookie C and cookies out.println C.get name and get value. Cookie handling architecture like this. But JSP program to create a cookie is like page import jakarta.servlet.http.cookie. Cookie C is new cookie of username, XYZ. Response.add cookie of C, which is included directly in the HTML file. Cookie created successfully. JSP file. Cookie created successfully. JSP program to read cookie. Read cookie.jsp is like at page import percentage at page import jakarta.servlet.http.cookie stored cookies. Cookie equals to request.get cookies. If cookie is not equal to null, for cookie ck and cookies out.println c.get name equals to plus c.get value out.println break, then close. Combined JSP program is like at the rate page import equals to jakarta.servlet.http cookie C new cookie username XYZ response.add cookies of C, then cookie created stored cookies are cookies equal to cookies equal to cookies equal to request.get cookies. Cookies not equal to null for cookies ck cookies out.println ck.get cookie and get value. Here important cookie methods are get name, get value, set max age, get max age, set path and get paths. Explain JSP, list out types of JSP tags and demonstrate with a program. JSP Java Server Pages is a server-side technology used to create dynamic web pages. JSP allows developers to embed Java code within HTML pages. When a JSP file page is requested, it is translated into Servlet, compiled and executed by the JSP container. Java Servlet Pages is a technology used to develop dynamic web pages by combining HTML, XML, and Java code in a single web page. Client browser, JSP page, JSP container, translation, JSP to Servlet, compilation, execution, and the HTML response. Features of JSP. Here it is. Explain JSP, list out the JSP tags. Here it is. JSP tags are features. Platform independence, supports dynamic web pages, is integration in Java Beans and JDBC. Supports session tracking, faster development compared to servlets, reusable components. Types of JSP tags. JSP tags are special tags used to insert Java code into HTML pages. There are 5 major tags. Types of JSP tags. Directive tags, declarative tags, scripted tags, expression tags, action tags. Directive tags provide instruction to the JSP container. Directive attribute value. Directive attribute is equals to value at the rate. That is page language is Java. Types of directive attribute: page attribute, page directive, page language. Include file equals to edit.jsp like that. And tagline URI is tag URI prefix C. declares custom tags. Tag-lib directive, include directive, page directive. Declaration tag, user to declare variables and methods. Declaration. Exclamatory declaration. Example, exclamatory end count equals to 0. Declare instant variables and methods. Scriptlet tag, user to write the Java code inside the JSP file, Java statements. Like in case that this and scriptlet tag, just the triangular bracket and percentage symbol. Purpose, perform calculations, execute Java statements. Expression tag, user to display values directly on the web page. Values, welcome to JSP. We will use equal symbol for this. Action tags, user to perform predefined action. Action name. Include page equals to header.jsp. Forward page equals to home.jsp. Forward action, include action, forward action. Use bean, id equals to obj, class equals to student, bean, id equals to obj. Then we have JSP tag and its purposes. Directive tag gives the instruction to the container. Declarative tag declares variables, methods. Scriptlet tag contains Java code. Expression tag displays the output. Action tag performs predefined actions and all. JSP program demonstrating all the tags. This percentage at page language equals to Java int exclamation int count 100 HTML body JSP tag declaration demonstration string name equals to this name is percentage equal name, then count is percentage equal count. JSP include page header.jsp, that is action page. Scriptlet tag, JSP tag demonstration, explanation of the program is here. Then advantages, easy to develop dynamic pages, less coding than servlets, supports reusable components, support implicit objects, platform independent, easy maintenance. Application of JSP, online banking system, e-commerce website, student management system, railway reservation system, social networking sites, enterprise web applications. JSP lifecycle, JSP page translation, solid creation, compilation, initialization, request processing, and destruction. JSP is a powerful server-side technology used to create dynamic web pages. JSP tags such as directive, declarative, scriptlet, expression, and action tags simplify web application development by allowing Java code to embed directly within HTML pages. These tags provide flexibility, reusability, and ease of maintenance, making JSP a popular technology for Java web development.